Friday. All right, let's do this, man. Breaking news as soon as I go live. Let's cover it. 3, 2, 1. Yo. What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Welcome. Hope you guys had a good week. I mean, as good as you could have, right? Considering Arkansas, their season ends, a lot sooner than many of us several months ago thought that it would, right? I mean, we thought we were going to ride this thing all the way, as freaking far as we think we can or what we've seen before. I don't know, like Sweet 16, Elite 8, maybe a Final Four appearance. And then it all comes it was like a slow car crash. And we were here to cover it all. We hit every single postgame show on Tusk Talk with Ty. Every single game we had a postgame show. We also had, thanks to the Don't Read the Comments podcast, we had some watch parties. We had a lot of fun with it. I hate to say I'm shocked, but yeah. So we've got news. We're gonna start it right off. Starting it right off with kind of crazy.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
The hell was that? All right. Pinion is in the portal. Excuse me. Pinion. I'm not laughing about Pinion. I just can't get enough of oh man, I can't get enough of that. It's 12:30, right? It's okay to crack open a cold one. Pinion is in the portal. He has entered the portal. This is coming from looks like Mason Choate. I don't know if he was the first to break it, but 6 minutes ago, as I go live, of course, I've already got my thumbnail made, my show scripted out and everything, and then we have this. Although we shouldn't be too shocked. But yeah, Pinion is he's done. Or at least, I should say done. He's at least putting his name in the portal. Not a shock. Not a surprise. I know there's going to be some folks that are, and I hate to say this, there's going to be some folks that don't mind this. I don't know. I'm going to be real with you, man. At this point, it's like, there's going to be the side of the aisle, which is that, well, maybe we didn't give Joseph Pinion, or maybe Musselman didn't give Joseph Pinion enough time. Didn't really develop the guy. Didn't really develop Pinion. What did he do here in 2 years? He didn't develop. Well, sometimes it's maybe the player maybe he's kind of hit his ceiling, or maybe he's just going to do better in another system. We have certainly seen Arkansas natives or former Razorbacks, whatever, go on to other schools and do great. Maybe he'll end up I hope he doesn't, for his sake, go to Missouri. But, Connor Vanover went to Mizzou. Didn't really go that great. But, you wish him nothing but the best. I mean, in all seriousness, this is I kind of hate to see him go. I really thought he could by year 2, year 3, we would start to see, what the stars were really all about coming out of high school. So, yeah. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Patreon supporters, by the way. But if you're just joining us, Joseph Pinion is in the portal. Now, we know just because you're in the portal doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. How many hit the portal? How many players are going to hit the portal? That's the million-dollar question. Some folks believe this is going to be a complete wipe outside of maybe a couple. My whole thing is I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea. It wouldn't shock me if everyone of the few players I kind of think will come back, wouldn't shock me if they left too. Would not shock me. So, yeah, again, Joseph Pinion is in the portal. So there you have it. Appreciate the likes and the retweets, you guys. I appreciate you. I see you, Matt, Unbiased Brim, Philip White, Austin. I see you guys. Appreciate you. Oh man, yeah. Let me hold on just a second. Let me do something here really quick. I need to. Because of this breaking news, I've got to. I got to update something here really quick. You guys tell me. Give me a number. How many players do you believe are hitting the portal? Do you expect a complete wipe? Are you, and if it is just a couple of players, we talked about this last night in the postgame, who are those players that you think are coming back? Yeah, had I just waited like 5 minutes, I could have updated my thumbnail, could have had Joseph Pinion as the guy in the title, but this is really about Razorback football. It's about the full pads. Razorbacks went full pads yesterday for the first time in spring camp. Finally. I know this is normal, right? Like you get a few practices under your belt and then you go full pads. I get that. I understand it. This isn't my first rodeo in terms of at least following Razorback off-season, the script. It's not my first rodeo, but for me, I've been like, I just want to see these guys in full pads because that's when you start to see things start to materialize a little bit, like who's running with the ones and who's doing their thing, right? Who's doing their thing in full pads. It's one thing to do it in just helmets or whatever, helmet and shoulder pads and shorts, but then it's something else entirely to go full pads. I can tell you, anyone who's played football, you completely understand that. It's a different world when you're full pads. So, and Mizz is trending on Twitter right now. I'm almost afraid to click that. Why is he trending? I'm sure it's his post game from last night. Bobby Bones 5 hours ago tweeted, "Give Mizz a raise." Brandon Baker on Twitter. Brandon Baker works for, he writes for bestofarkansassports.com. I'm a fan of that website. You should go watch their content. They do good stuff. Brandon Baker does good stuff, good coverage over there. Mizz brought Arkansas basketball back from mediocrity and took them places they haven't been in 25 years. He remains, this is a long tweet. He remains an excellent recruiter, motivator, and coach. One bad season doesn't change any of those things, and he's more than earned a bit of a cushion. The fan base owes him a lot for bringing us hope, joy, and a level of success that many of us had never experienced in our entire lives. I, for one, don't want him to go anywhere. And again, that's from Brandon Baker. You can follow him at bbakerhogs on Twitter or X, whatever the hell they want to call it. He says, he says, but it's also okay to admit he's 14-22 in SEC play over the last two seasons and missed on this year's team. The Kansas win in 2023 can't be discredited, but I also don't think one win should wipe away the entire season before it either. I'm not reading all that, but yeah, pretty good little tweet there if you want to go find that. At least the top half. I didn't realize the bottom half was that much, but yeah, some interesting points there. And I am I okay? Like, am I going to stand in the way of Pinion exiting? No, I'm not. He didn't contribute. We didn't see much of anything in 2 years. I have a hard time believing Mizz just didn't, it was just all Mizz. He couldn't see his talent. There's a lot of criticisms of Pinion, and at least here in this system and the way Mizz runs things. And I do agree that he had, he has a pretty high standard from what he expects from his guys on the floor. Yeah, 14-22 in the last 2 years. If you don't think that put a little bit of a dent in in Muzz's value, for everyone who's saying he's gone, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it feels like the leverage might be slipping a little bit more into Arkansas's favor because, I mean, what does Louisville have to that does matter. And, yeah, the SEC is better. It's gotten way better. I think it is a legit top 3, maybe even top 2 I don't agree that the SEC is better than the Big 12. I don't buy. I'm not buying that. But they could go deeper in the tournament this year than the Big 12. We'll see. We'll see. But the conference has gotten better. The level of play it's just been incredible, and that has to do with the guys calling the shots, the head coaches. The pedigree of coaches in this conference is insane. You've got Beard coaching at Ole Miss. What else do I have to tell you? Muss, who's had the deepest runs in the SEC or out of the SEC in March. You can't overlook three straight Sweet 16s by themselves is incredible. That's great. But then to tack on back-to-back Elite Eights, Coach Cal he hasn't touched his level of success this year. They could be, I don't know, man. I'm back and forth on Kentucky too. Tennessee looks deep. Connect is legit. Florida could surprise some people. But this league is crazy. It's crazy. The coaching pedigree here is wild. And what follows that? Players, higher level, talented players, the high 4s and 5 stars now. The guys picking, Auburn over some of those West Coast or Big Ten schools or the ACC schools. The conferences who for a while in the last couple of decades have had some really promising teams, some really good runs. They're now considering the SEC like heavily and visiting and committing and hopefully staying. Who we kidding? Nobody stays anymore. Anyways, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Discord peeps, I appreciate you as well. Everyone who came through in that post game last night, make sure you go watch it. Had some interesting calls. Had some interesting calls. Some call-ins last night. Shout out to our sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They operate out of Northwest Arkansas and in Central Arkansas. They offer same-day services, quality parts, and affordable outcomes. They'll come take a look at your door and all this crap that makes the door pull up, the little levy system. They'll look at it all for free. If you're having some issues, they'll just come out and look at it. Consider doing business with them, 501-244-3667. And, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street. Maybe you're in town for Mizzou SEC opening weekend, baby. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Can't wait. Tonight, 6:30, right? 6:30? That sounds right. I know it's a later game. But consider the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street in Springdale. Just look them up on your phone. Just look them up. Just pull up your phone, right? Just all you got to do is beep, boop, boop, boop. Oh, there's Odd Soul. Boom. Hey, I'm coming. You got an order? Can I put it in an order for takeout? Or maybe I want to come to your bar and drink some IPAs that you have there on tap. Tusk Talk with Ty says you're legit, so that's all you got to do. Consider that. Oh, I'm feeling it today, you guys. I'm in a good mood because it's a lot has happened. A lot has happened. Had a busy day yesterday, man. It was incredible. We of course we got full pads, so we had practice yesterday morning. And we were in the stadium. I don't know. It was drizzling. I thought for sure they're going to send them to the indoor facility, but they did not. They left them out on the field. I don't know if that was a Petrino thing. I don't know. You know what? I did not watch Sam's. I haven't watched. I was there for the Zoom call. I haven't rewatched Sam's presser yet, which is why I didn't upload it. I haven't had a chance. I was swamped yesterday, and I'm busy today too. In fact, as soon as I'm done here, I got to run, pick up my girls early from school. I got to drop my kid off to a dance tonight. We've got baseball. We've got we're resetting our cycle, by the way, in Discord, our XP cycle. First pitch tonight, we're going to hit the reset button. We're going to have triple XP. It's a whole new cycle, guys. For maybe you're curious about what the hell's going on. What's all this Discord XP talk? Come get in on it. All you got to do is chat, and then you're in. Like that. That's how it works. As soon as you chat, you get XP. There's a bot that keeps track of all of it. We have predictions. It's fun. Yes, if you're a Patreon tier member, you're going to get some bonus XP. There's wheel spins for everybody and Patreon supporters. New cycle starts tonight. You're going to want to get in on it. Because the winner of this previous cycle is getting this bad boy right here, autographed Mason Jones card. That's what the winner's getting. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. You have a shot at winning. So just saying, if you want to get in on it, the new cycle begins tonight. So come get in on it. Let's get into this. I got some footage from practice. I don't know where it is. Where are you? Hang on. I know I got it here somewhere.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
God, don't do that again. God. All right, here we go. Running back drill here. Ball, stiff arm. Look how big that man is. That's an 18-year-old. I'm not going to call him a kid. I would dare call him a kid. That's a big dude. Runs really well. I like, listen, shoulder pad, you got to keep those shoulders low right when you have the ball. He does a pretty good job of that. There was a run, and unfortunately this happened when we couldn't record. We couldn't film it, but I have it noted somewhere. Braylon Russell, he had the ball. He hits the outside right corner. He's starting to turn it upfield a little bit, just outside the right tackle. And I think it was, I don't remember who came in on the tackle. I want to say the transfer from Georgia, not the linebacker, the corner, the 5-star corner. Singletary came down, and a couple other guys. I think there was a linebacker in the mix. I didn't catch it. I didn't note it. They couldn't tackle him. They couldn't bring him down. I mean, you're talking about older players too, by the way, because I don't think any of them were freshmen that were in on that play. They couldn't, like, he was down. He got his body down. He got the leverage down, and it reminded me. Well, he's just a strong back. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, here's the next Darren McFadden or whatever. But he's tough. He's tough, and you could see it in his build. He could not tackle him. So here we go. You can see Green under center. Motion. Continue to the slot. Green on another rollout. There it is. Taking rid of all the players there that are out on the field. Tight end on the left there. Strong side. Yeah, the ball was left. I think that was Pinion who ran that. Was that Gums? I haven't gone back and reviewed all this. There's Gums. There he is. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I know. So we do know that Luke has got hurt. I didn't actually see it, but Mike Irwin uploaded the video. He actually caught it on film, and he uploaded it. I didn't see it, but I did see them working with him. And of course, I don't report anything unless they tell us we can as far as injuries, or well, let me rephrase that. I'm just very careful. I don't want to, it's not like they're telling me you can't post that. They're not doing that, but I, for myself, just don't want to, I don't want to upset anybody, right? So I wasn't going to post, oh, Luke Has is down with an injury. So, but we did see it. We saw him working with the trainers. He was up, moving around, but he had that foot wrapped. There was a little bit of a limp. He's going to have this whole week off. We're going to see where he's at. We'll reassess next week. I mean, that's 2 injuries, in the last whatever, I guess really technically the last year. So hopefully he's getting them out now. He's shaking them out. He's shaking them off right now. So, but he was out moving around. Did not participate in any that I saw. He didn't participate in any drills after that. So that's unfortunate. because you don't want to miss any part of the process on the off season, and hopefully this is just like a short-term thing. But Varkey's gums, so he's out there. He's getting more reps because Haz is out. Him and Easter. I saw Easter, and unfortunately I didn't catch this either because it happened when we weren't allowed to film. But Easter he's seeing more time. I think we saw him work his way in with the twos. You're going to get to see Shamar Easter this year. Knock on wood, right? A lot of people drop snaps this spring. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, they did yesterday, Bobby, because it was wet. Remember, we were out in the rain. I mean, it was wet. You could probably see some people with umbrellas. It's understandable. First time full pads. Is this the Yeah, so I don't know if that was caught. Again, this is what's so challenging about catching some of this footage. Don't exactly have the best seats in the house, even though we're right there, you know. Here we go, so Pinion motion. Watch this throw. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Let's go. Two's up.
Celebrating. Going nuts. Look at that. Quarterback's down there. Let's rewind that and watch that again. Back it up. Back it on up. Here we go. Green. Makes that
Let's go.
That's pretty good. And again, don't want to overhype it. Don't want to say, here we go. This is it. Look at that. He did it. He did it full pads, full speed, all that stuff. We're going to get this all the time now. No, hold on. But that was a nice play. That was nice. That throw was amazing, and the mechanics of it makes me even happier, says John Haas. Well, yeah, I mean, it was great. And you got to give credit to Centennial getting loose there. Broke free.
Two's up.
You can see Gums in the mix there. Okay, so there was a little bit. Next time they go full pads, I'm going to try and get a lot more. Yeah, I already kind of mentioned it, but the tight ends are targeted a lot, whether it's, before Luke Haas's injury. Luke Haas, now, unfortunately, we didn't get to see him full pads in 11-on-11 or 7-on-7 or anything, but tight ends are targeted often. A lot of I've seen a little bit of check down throws and things like that. Have you guys caught? Sam has picked up on, I think we talked about this was that this week or last week? We talked about how he's picked up on, he says, and things of that nature. I love that he knows it, and he's trying to work on it, you guys. Give him a break. Give him a break, all right? Love the pre-snap motion and the offense, as Kyle wrote. Yeah, I agree. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I'm working against the YouTube algorithm these days. If you're wondering why I got the 99 behind me, one of the greatest to ever do it, Aaron Donald, did retire. Not all bad today, though. Well, not bad. I shouldn't say that. I'm very thankful. Aaron Donald was incredible. I'm so thankful I got to watch that dude. Just see him play, man, and get the hardware, get the ring. That's incredible for him. Hate to see him go, but he left behind a hell of a legacy with the Rams. And assuming he doesn't do what we've seen lately where guys come back out of retirement, it's cool to see him retire as a Ram. But Aaron Donald, 32 years old, man, 32. Speaking of the Rams and former Razorback, Cam Curl, he's a Ram. That's awesome. Curl is a Ram, baby. I love it. Welcome to Rams Nation. Jackson Robinson left and was now. Yeah. Yep. A lot of drop. I already read that. Michael Kerper, that's my card. That is your card. That is your card. Sure is. Sure is. Coach said Centennia is looking great. Kerper says over under 2.5 weeks when Judd shits on the baseball team or Kopeski. Yeah. Farrell Hogman says it was an interesting night. It was. A lot of XP given out. I'm worried about Muss leaving for out west. The Stanford job came open, which is kind of scary. We're going to do this with every West Coast team now. I know we are. And, I mean, I get it. At the moment, he says he's looking forward to coming back next year. Or he's looking forward to hitting the portal and working on – he's motivated. I mean, I believe him. Over under 5 wins this year for football. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a question for chat, not for me. I'm not going to answer that just yet. Both has. Yeah, Dylan broke his hand. Sure did. Dylan broke his hand. Tough day for them, for the brothers, huh? For the Has brothers. I just rephrase that. A tough day for the Has brothers. Yeah. So I think too, another thing that kind of caught my eye. We did see Criswell work his way up, by the way. We did see Criswell. Pretty sure he took some snaps with the 2s, or at least the 3s yesterday. I mean, he's kind of worked in there in between. I have my numbers here for quarterbacks. This is 7-on-7 stats. Taylon Green went 8 of 10 for 68 yards and 3 touchdowns. Some really impressive throws in those 7-on-7s. Now, those are always at 7-on-7, right? But let's see, I have Singleton, who goes 1 for 5 for 9 yards. Jacoby Criswell, I have it at 4 or 5 for 50 yards. KJ Jackson, again, this is 7-on-7. I have him at 1 for 2 for 7 yards. Ledbetter got in there, but I don't have his numbers. But I don't think he threw more than 3 or 4 times. Varkey's Gums, and who else had the third catch? I don't have the other person with 3 catches name, but he had. I've got him down for 34 yards and a touchdown. Whoever that was. I think it was it Bibby, Cameron Bibby. Varkey's Gums had 3 grabs for 23 yards, or well, I don't know. I'll just say 20. And a touchdown. Tyrone Broden had a catch for 21 yards and a touchdown. Centennia had 2 grabs for 7 yards. I'm pretty sure those were one of those, I think, was a check down throw. Davion Dozier had the catch of the camp. Full pads or no pads. That was an insane one-handed grab. If you haven't seen it, Razorback Football has that video on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. To see it happen in live right there while we're all standing there, it was incredible. I mean, there wasn't a media member near me that wasn't just like, holy crap. That was an impressive catch. I think it was from Malachi that threw him that ball. And it was a little high and a little bit behind him, so the timing might have been off just a little bit between the two of them. But, yeah, and so what do I have him down for? If I can find my 11-on-11. I'm pretty sure Dozier, I know he had, because after that play, I don't remember what happened after that. I think it was an incomplete pass. And then, so 2 plays later, Dozier catches another not a great throw, not a highlight-worthy throw or catch. But he had at least 3 grabs, a touchdown, and I don't know how many yards. I think it was 40 yards or something. Shamar Easter, and this is 11-on-11. Okay, Easter grabs, I've got him down for 2. Don't have the yardage. I want to say it was around 15 to 20 yards. He did have a touchdown in the back of the end zone, wide open. He got loose. Tesla had 1 grab for 15 yards. Tesla's not so far. He's not been the guy that's standing out. He's had a hard time living up to the hype that he had from the last season. Armstrong, I think Armstrong was very well covered. And he had at least a grab, and I think it went for double digits. I want to say about 10 or 12 yards. So, out of the running backs, I've had a couple people DM me asking me what I think about the backs. I'm just going to tell you, Braylon Russell, the more I see of him, and again, we only got him, full pads for one day, but the more I see him, I do think he's going to be heavily involved in the mix. And guys, this is a part of being here in the spring. I don't want to hammer you over the head with this again, but this is a big part. Like, if he were coming into fall camp, he would be behind because I think Pinion has looked pretty good. Jaquindon Jackson, another guy, new. He's in here in the spring, right? But let's say he's in, and Russell doesn't come in until the following fall camp. Well, Jaquindon Jackson's probably got a bit of an advantage. Now, obviously, he's older, too. That helps. And he played at Utah. That's a huge advantage. So think about that. Braylon Russell is coming in. I'm pretty sure in 11-on-11s, he had more carries than anybody. He had double. I lost count at about 11 carries. I don't know what he ended up with. It wasn't north of 15. I know that. But it was somewhere between 11 and 14 carries. I know he had at least 2 scores, and I think he averaged something like 5.5, 6 yards a carry. Again, he's holding it. He's holding it down, man. And I'm not saying he's going to be RB1. Okay, he's still got to get through Augustive, who I didn't see a whole lot in 11-on-11s. He's got to get through, you've still got Dominic Johnson, Pinion. Like, you still got to get through those guys. I thought I had some more receiving numbers. Yeah, I said Varkey's Gums had 3 grabs, right? And I want to say they all averaged first downs. They were all or close to it. They were all like 9, 10-yard grabs. And again, he had a touchdown. 7-on-7s, they struggled, and this is pretty typical. They struggled when they had the ball at 5 yards and out, and I think 10 yards and out. They struggled. They started off 20 out, right, just inside the red zone. And again, this is 7-on-7s, and they looked really good. Obviously, the more cushion you have to work with, it's a little bit easier in the passing game, right? At least based on hell, you could play Madden football and you know that. Like, when you get inside the 5 or inside the 10 or 5-yard line, it is hard to throw the ball, and you see it when you watch the NFL or college ball. Unless you're running bootlegs and play action a lot, and maybe you're targeting your larger, like tight ends or big receivers, your possession guys. It's tough to do, and so they're going to work on that, I think, quite a bit. But overall, I don't know who I would say has really, really stood out. I have liked how active Varkey's Gums has been. Shamar Easter's getting more and more involved, from what I can tell. I focused primarily because I knew there was going to be this lead up to full pads. We're going to get some practices under our belt. So here we are with the offense. So I've stuck primarily with the offense. I did watch the defense a little bit yesterday in the scrimmage. I thought they play physical. They try to play physical. The DBs hit hard. They're not afraid of contact, as far as I could tell. No, it's easy to be not afraid of contact when you're mostly healthy, and it's spring. But I liked the way they played. I thought that they certainly, There's so much change on the offense, and there's not as much change on the defense. While there is some change, you got Jukic out there who's wearing number 4 for the defense. Try to keep an eye on him a little bit. Haven't seen a ton of him actually, but there's still that we have a chip on our shoulder. I think kind of, I don't know. I can't find the right words really, but they're trying to play at a higher, more physical level. They're trying to match the intensity on the field, from what I can tell, just through spring camp. They're hooting and they're hollering, they're yelling, they're screaming, they're celebrating. But the defensive line is going to be interesting too, because I think there's going to be some changes as far as rotation, especially compared to a year ago. 11-on-11. Did I give you the 11-on-11 numbers? I think I did. We did that. We've got running backs running wheel routes. We got running backs. I mean, that's just typical. That's Bobby Petrino. That's the MO right there. Jalen Braxton in the secondary, he's had a pretty strong beginning to spring camp. So we'll be keeping an eye on him as well. And it's no surprise. I mean, Braxton last year did a lot more than I thought that he would. Not that I didn't think he would do much, but all things considered. I was trying to look for some more notes that I had here that I haven't read. Yeah, I have here Petrino yelling. Petrino was yelling quite a bit. Why are y'all tagging me? Oh, you guys couldn't hear me over the audio, over the. That's weird. Microphone's turned all the way up. Hey, what's up, Brim? How you doing, man? But yeah, Petrino was hooting and hollering at somebody, and it was pretty funny. Well, not really like getting on their asses, but he was certainly, not happy with some stuff. He's doing a good job. I mean, you'll see him communicate with his quarterbacks like he used to. You know, I can remember watching practice footage back in the day when he was here and him pulling his quarterbacks aside and chewing them out. I don't know that he was really chewing anybody out. I wouldn't say that, but there's at least a hell of a lot of communication. He's doing what an OC is supposed to be doing, right? Danny Enos did it. Kendall Briles, to some extent, did it, although Kendall always struck me as someone who's a little more hands-off. Must to Michigan. Question mark. Ty, the SMU center would be huge for this offensive line. Move Addison to guard. What are the chances that he comes? I don't know. At the moment, I'm not sure. I think Pittman, I did catch that Pittman liked Addison, and he likes the backup center. What's that kid's name? Wiggins. He likes Wiggins. He likes what's going on there, but I think he probably will go after another interior guy. Pittman said rolled ankle. Yeah, it was a rolled ankle. Yeah, on Luke Has. I hope Damo gets playing time. We need the 2021 version of Damo. Yeah, and I agree. Defense was apparently good. Yeah, a lot of broken up passes, Kyle. A lot of broken up passes. Braxton getting involved. Secondary. Again, I didn't catch all their who all made the big plays, but they were active in the secondary. They're doing a very good job of other than the plays that you see in the highlight videos, right? Other than that, like I think the secondary has looked the part. Russell has so much potential, and dude is massive. He's a big guy. Russell is a big human being. He shouldn't be. When you look at him, you don't think, what is he, 18, maybe 19? By the way, get your predictions in if you're in our Discord. If not, you need to be in there. Get your Discord predictions in for the game tonight. Mizzou at number 1 Arkansas, game 1. We need the total Arkansas runs tonight. Closest without going over. Missouri, I was looking at they've got some guys that can hit the damn ball. Jackson Lovich, guy's got 5 homers, 19 RBIs. He's batting .369 with a .469 on base, .692 slug. Trevor Austin's batting .328. Now, I don't know the health of all these guys, and I don't know where they're going to be at in the lineup. Jackson Beeman's batting .346. Isaiah Frost, .333. I think some of these guys don't have a ton of at-bats. Jackson's got 65. Trevor Austin's got 61 at-bats. Again, both those guys are high double-digit RBIs already in the year. That's not too shabby, especially for someone like Mizzou. You're not going to find Mizzou on any, when you look up their numbers, their stats, their team ERA, I don't even know where it's at. Their batting average as a team is surprisingly not where I thought it would be. They've got some arms. I think they can kind of listen. We know that right now hitting is the thing everyone's talking about. Like, yeah, pitching. It feels like Arkansas only needs about 5 runs a game, and with their pitching, they ought to be fine. But now you're getting into SEC play, and I will say I think the things that have held Arkansas back the last several years, even when Arkansas was really good and they're making their trip to Omaha, the thing that always seems to hold them back when it matters most is hitting. I think a lot of you will agree with that. Their hitting has just been – it's not been elite. And I know we all want to place blame somewhere, and it's like, it's just not that simple. I mean, this is the SEC, and then when you get as far as Arkansas does in postseason play, you're playing against the best of the best. So it's, but it's got to be a higher level of hitting. Batting average numbers drops for everybody once you get into conference play, especially in the SEC, and they're already kind of struggling. I think they're just inside, I think, the top 80 in batting average, team batting average. They're somewhere in there with their ERA being super high, strikeouts per game super high. I think they're top 3 in both those categories. I will say this. I think Arkansas, I think they probably – I'm going to stick – I think I said they're going to sweep Missouri. I think they sweep Mizzou this weekend. I'm going to stick with it, but I think Mizzou – it might be a tougher game than we think. Maybe. I don't know. I'd love to see Arkansas rule them at least once. I want them to sweep Mizzou. But Missouri might be tougher. I think sometimes we look at those, their wins and losses, and we take that as that's all you need to know, and that's not true, especially with baseball. They are 9-8 coming into this game. I think Arkansas sweeps, but it may not be as easy as I want it to be, right? Arkansas 14-2. We know they're unanimously. I'm pretty sure it's unanimous. Number 1. Arkansas is still Oregon State's only loss. And last I looked, Arkansas was James Madison's only 3 losses. Now, that was last week when I looked at that. You know what? Let's look at it. What are they right now? Well, they're 12-5. James Madison is. So they've had a couple more losses. But they won a series against East Tennessee State, and then I don't know who this other team is, but they split a series. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that because YouTube might think I'm being racist. So I'm just not going to pronounce it. I'll just say the name does start. I'm not going to say it because YouTube might pick it up as a no-no word. I'm not going to say it. But if I mispronounce this name even just a little bit, I'm in deep shit. So they split that series versus this team you've never heard of. Now they've got Coastal Carolina. That might be interesting. And again, that's James Madison. So for a while, Arkansas was their only 3 losses all the way up until March 9th. Or, March 10th. And they lost to East Tennessee State. Ty, you see anything from the new tight end tall one? Wait, who are you talking about? New tight end, the tall one. When we say new, do you mean transfer? Now, Ty Washington, who's out with an injury, and he's not new, I know, but he is like one of your taller tight ends. You've got Shamar Easter, who's 6'5", who's your second tallest. And then you have the kid out of Eastern Michigan, Andreas Paskey. Is that who you're asking me about? He's like 6'6". Try and pull him up. Yeah, actually, I have seen a little bit out of him. It's interesting you asked that. I've seen him catch a couple of balls. And neither of them, I don't think, were check down throws. They were like design throws to him. And unless you're talking about maybe they've got that walk-on kid, Johnston. He's like 6'5". He's pretty big. So I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah, I mean all the tight ends. It's like everyone's gotten involved. Again, they're targeting the tight ends a lot. But that was the same thing with Dan Enos. You remember that was his MO coming into the season was how well he's operated with tight ends, and obviously Hunter Henry. But you're going to target a lot of tight ends, and they started to. Especially that was part of the reason why Luke Has is just a beast. But he was always it seems like he was always open, at least for a tight end. Yeah, tight ends were heavily involved last year. That could be the same thing this year, where you get Petrino having his quarterbacks look a little more often for the tight ends. I'm excited to see. I think Varkey's Gums, he's the guy I keep going to. He looks more comfortable. And this could be the year where, last year we expected him to come in and just be a stud, especially what he did at North Texas before he came to Arkansas. His highlight reel's fun to watch. He's built a little bit lower to the ground. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 240, 245. He's still about that, by the way. But we never really saw him relax into that role. He's starting to now. He's starting to. He just looks more confident, and he's targeted a lot. It's showing. Remember last year we talked about how Luke Haz is targeted a lot. Well, look what unfolded. Until his injury, he was grading out really high with PFF. He was getting targeted more and more. So sometimes these things do translate into fall. So hopefully that happens with Gums, because I think he could be special. But he's got competition. You've got Easter, who's coming up. You're going to have Luke Haz back. You've got the transfer from Eastern Michigan. There's a lot of weapons here. And let's not forget Ty Washington. Ty Washington, I think, is a legit all-conference caliber tight end. They've got like 3 or 4 of these all-conference caliber tight ends. It's absurd. They are deep at the tight end spot in that tight end room. All right, that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. I gotta get out of here. Again, I'm taking Arkansas to sweep this weekend. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, share the content. It's me versus this stupid YouTube algorithm. They're just not pushing me to non-subscriber folks. So I need your help with that. Please share the content. Share it to Graham, P-Pop, whatever you call your grandfather, your uncle, Uncle Jim, Uncle Todd, whatever, to your cousins. Share the content. Share it on social media. I do appreciate those of you who do that. And we will reset that XP tonight. New cycle. Join Discord. Get in on it. It's a lot of fun. We do give away prizes. Let me give you the link here. Right there it is. There's the link. Join our Discord. Come be a part of the fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you get access to more of the discussion, some insider stuff. I give my takeaways from camp, what I'm seeing in practice. It's all there in that Discord. All you got to be is a member you just got to be a Patreon supporter to see that exclusive content. You got to be in that Discord. All right, again, shout out to the sponsors, to all you guys who watch the content. I will see you, next week, I guess, right? No. Next week's spring break. I don't know when I'm going to be live next week. Just make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell, okay? All right. That will do it. You guys enjoy your weekend. Go Hogs. Sweep Mizzou. Cerveza cristal. Cerveza